Hello, welcome to the Chazz Palminteri podcast. We have a great show today and we have a great guest, but I will not tell you who it is until I tell you some things about what's going on with my site, chazzpalminteri.net. Okay, we have some really, really great things here. This is for the guys, okay? This is really, well, not just the guys. I mean, the girls could buy this too. But guys, if you buy this for your wife, for Christmas or for anything. Look, one of the great ones. We have a new hoodie, and it says one of the great ones with Bronx tail in the front. Guys, if you buy this for your wife, you'll be in. You can go out with the guys on a Friday night. You can go to Vegas with the boys. You just tell her that she's one of the great ones. No, seriously. It's a great gift for Christmas, or it's a great gift just for any time. Also, one of my new shirts that are coming up. Check this out, okay? This is on the long sleeve t-shirt. Is it better to be loved or feared? With a Bronx tail in the front. Also, on chazzpalminteri.net, we have the original poster that I do for my one-man show. If you'd like to see the schedule of the one-man show, which I'll be doing for 2022, go to chazzpalminteri.net. I'll be appearing all over the country. I'll be in Staten Island, too, at the historic St. George Theater. Check that one out. That's going to be fun. Okay, here it is. Okay, and, of course, and wait a minute, it fell down over here. The saddest thing in life is wasted talent. My father wrote this on a card. If you saw the movie, you know the story. Put it in my room, and all I did was work hard not to disappoint him. And I said, I will not waste my talent. You know, I had this card, and I put it in my son's room when he was born, and my daughter, and I kept it there. And as they grew up and went to school, you know, elementary school, then high school, and they kept looking at this card. I said, you have to follow this card. My son went to the top musical school in the country, in the world, Berkeley School in Boston, graduated. And my daughter right now is at the University of Michigan, the top musical theater school in the country. Yeah, I have my cup, Michigan, go blue. And so I can only say it worked for my kids. And I'm sure it could work for you. Or it could be to anybody that you want to inspire. And you can pick this up on my site, chazzpalminteri.net. If you have questions and if you'd like to do a one-on-one with me, you can go to the site. I do a one-on-one if you want to talk about your career and you need some career advice, or as an actor, as a writer, anything like that, just go to chazzpalminteri.net. We have a gentleman that I saw in Florida. He was doing his act, and then I saw him do this one-man show. And he was just writing it at the time, and we met, and he spoke to me, and he said, gee, I would love for you to direct my one-man show, because I know, obviously, you know a lot about one-man shows. He was hysterical doing a show. It's called Till Death Do Us Part, You First, which I thought was very funny. So I'm directing his show. I did it. And I'd like to have him on as a guest right now. And he is just, he's a funny guy. He's not Italian. It's good to have somebody who's not Italian on my show once in a while. He's Jewish, okay? So here he is, Peter Fogel. How are you, Peter?
I'm great, Chazz. You know the difference between a Jew and an Italian? 1 year of high school. So we're real close. We're real close. You never heard that?
Is that what it is, 1 year of high school?
Difference between a Jew and an Italian, 1 year of high school. That's it.
So, Peter, we know you have this show that I directed.
Yes.
So Death Do Us Part, You First. I mean, what made you want to, decide to write this show and to do it? Was anything that, an incident or anything that caused it?
You know, it's interesting. It's actually an homage to a woman that I should have married and continued the relationship to be married. And it's kind of an homage to her, because I decided, I woke up one time and I realized that I'm single at my age. What have I done wrong? What have I done right? And I just went back to the scenes of the crime to figure out why I screwed up and what happened. Because, you look back in your life and you get to my age, I have insomnia, so I stay up a lot of night awake. And I had a lot of relationship material in my stand-up. But then with the help of you, we took my one-man show and took all these stories and molded it
Right.
into a very funny. People ask me if it's autobiographical, and it's autobiographical, as you and I discussed it. And truth is funny, and if you can,
All right. Well, let's talk about this. I mean, obviously, you're in your late 50s. You're not married, right?
Right. Correct.
You've never been married.
Never been married.
So, what type of women do you attract?
I only want to go out with hot, psychologically damaged women. That's what I seem to be because to have someone normal, normal is easy. See, that's the problem. Men, especially when you're on testosterone enhancement, you really are attracted to psychologically damaged women. Can I give you an example? One woman I was going out, by the way, the names have been changed to protect the guilty in anything I say right now on this podcast, because some of these women are still alive. I'm thinking, I have a woman that comes over, I'm dating, and we met before. My legs were on her lap. She was sitting on the couch. We're talking. She said, I'm very good looking. I said, well, thank you very much. I imagine you have a lot of women after. I go, you know what? I really don't date a lot of women. I don't have the bandwidth. She says, but you want to have sex with all these women. I go, what women are we talking about? You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what? She brought over a bottle of champagne. She says, well, these women aren't going to get this champagne. She empties out the champagne she bought and into the sink. She goes, I think we're done for tonight. I go, I think we are. She grabbed her bag, exited my townhouse. I say, this is great. I'm going to lock the door, smoke a joint, and go to bed. Now, she thinks I'm going to run after her to go, come back in, because I didn't do anything. She had a thought in her head, and with that, she created a scenario. So she's waiting for me to run after her like it's a Clairol commercial. Come back. So 3 minutes later, she's waiting by the driveway. I've already shut the light. I've locked the door. I've closed down the house. I'm smoking a joint. I'm going to bed. Ding dong. I go, who is it? You know who it is. You'll have to identify yourself. And then she comes back in, because you're going to let me leave? I go, yeah, I'm not in my 20s anymore, man.
Oh, she sounded like a drama queen. Loves drama.
Yes. And I always wondered why. I think you once said to me, or another friend said to me, certain women thrive on the drama. They create the scenario. It's exciting. And, it's fun, I guess, when you're in your 20s. But when you get to an age, man, you want to go to sleep and take a nap.
Right. So I get it. So you've been dating a long time. So what do you think the difference is? I mean, obviously you're attracting the wrong women in your life, obviously.
Yeah.
So what do you feel the difference is from dating now into dating like in the 90s?
Well, in the 90s before the internet, Chazz, because you've never been on the internet because you've been married forever. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, can I ask you one question before I go into this?
Sure.
I always want to ask you, Chazz Palminteri, in front of everyone who's listening, in your entire life, have you ever been rejected by a woman? You think a woman, before you answer, I don't think a woman will say, the tall, handsome, swarthy Sicilian look, not for me. I don't think you've ever been turned down by a woman. No,
I have been. I remember when I was single that some women just looked at me and said, you look like a player. I'm not getting involved with you. And wouldn't do it. Some actually did, and maybe they weren't attracted to me. I don't know. But no, of course, every man gets rejected in his life. So I was rejected, but a couple of them said it right out. No, you're the type of guy that, let me shut this. You're the type of guy that my mother would say, stay away, and my father would say, stay away. So, I've been rejected before.
But I'm strangely attracted to you, but I know better. Basically what I think they were saying.
Yes.
I'm really attracted to you. This will come to no good.
This will come to no good. And they were smart enough to, and they were right. and they were right. Because when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was a runaround. Yeah.
You were.
I always treated women the right way. I was very upfront with them, but yes, I was not a guy. Don't forget, I didn't get married till I was 38, 39. So they were actually right.
You were a player. So, but back in the 90s, before the internet, you met women when you met women. You went to bars, you went to parties, you hung out with your buddies, you got drunk, you looked for girls. And to me, I'm old school. I prefer meeting a woman the old-fashioned way, through alcohol and poor judgment. That's what we did. That's what we did back in the 90s, right? There was no surprises. Everyone's cute. The problem, Chazz, what is everyone's really pretty in a bar. with everyone drunk and the lighting's low. And as I think you once said to me, nah, throw them back. You got to get everyone, you have to get them out in the light. That's what you thought you once said to me. You got to get them in the light. Do not, everyone looks great in the dark, right, Chazz?
Right.
In a dance club. And that was it. It was different then. There was no problems. You met them. On the internet, it's different. Everyone creates a profile of who they are, but not who they are, of who they want to be, you know. So
that's right. Now, do you obviously, so you came up, did you do any, so you didn't really come up in the internet either. Obviously, it was before the internet. And I know I got set up on a few blind dates that really didn't really work out too well.
Now,
have you ever been set up on a blind date that was bad?
Yes. You know, it's the saddest thing. I used to take personal ads out of newspapers, right? They had little single classified lines.
What would you write about yourself?
Pimp has got a question. Go ahead.
In those personal ads, what exactly would you write?
Genie in a bottle wants to give you 3 wishes. It was like it was like 9 lines. But here's the sad thing. I'd meet the woman, and then 6 months later, she'd answer the ad. She'd show up again. It's the same girl. It was like the Pina Colada song. You know what I'm saying? I go, oh my God, I'm recycling bad first dates. I go, I can't get a break. And because they didn't send photos. Oh, you want to hear a really bad story?
No.
This happened to my friend. He's actually my next door neighbor, and I'm going to say it anyway. And you could edit out. He talks to the girl on the phone. She's from San Bernardino. We're in Studio City. And he goes, I really like to see a photo. As we say, when we want to see a photo, we want you to hold the photo up, but have a picture of the newspaper with the date. Do you understand? You have to have like World War II ends, because if they send you a photo and it has a lot of hair and it looks like, all right, she took this. I mean, women now today will send the photo with the big hair and it's kind of yellow. I go, what, you in a George Michael Wham video? What are you putting up a photo from 84? It's 2021. I know it's not you. So she says, I don't have a photo, but I stop traffic. Men love me. Well, she shows up. She's 5'11", 190 pounds. She's a big girl. So he's naturally disappointed. They're divvying up the check. He goes, all right, your check, your part of the check is $9. She starts crying. You said you were going to buy me lunch. And he says, you told me you were thin.
Oh, God.
It's terrible. Because men, and he goes, okay, I'll buy your hamburger. But that's the way men are. We're visual, stupid. We are. It's hand to God.
So do you find that on the internet, again, I know nothing about this dating on the internet stuff, but do women, I guess they lie. They put up a photo that's really not them. Well, it's them maybe 20 years ago.
Or they put the one we've discussed, they put the big hat with the sunglasses at the beach 5 miles away. Like someone was in a boat taking a picture. I go, what do I need? DNA and forensic scientists to figure out who this, I think it's a woman. I go, be as far away as possible with a hat and glasses. What are you in the witness protection program? We want to see what you look like. and I hate to say it. And this men too. By the way, this is not just, I hear stories about women, men, they have the shirtless picture, the selfies, they send pictures of their junk. It's horrible. It really is for women. I'm trying to play both ends.
So it's both men and women do this.
Yeah, but women, if you have, this is the sad thing. If they put a picture with just the head, all 5 pictures with just the head, they're not showing the rest of the body. They're not being truth in advertising. Everyone wants to see a full profile, different. And if there's 4 great pictures and 1 bad one, you always have to go, okay, we're going to go with the bad one. She looks like that. You just don't know.
So you go with the bad one.
You have to go with the bad one. I go, maybe it was a bad day. I mean, it's a terrible, because come on, he's laughing. Is the pimp laughing or is that Dante? Who's laughing about it?
No, that's Pimp laughing. Pimp.
But it's true though. Yeah, we just got to go, okay, good picture, bad picture, good. And we go with the bad because Because
you hope for the best, but expect the worst, I guess,
yes,
right?
Yes. But it's the ones when you just see, it's a Polaroid. You know the old Polaroids with the frayed edges and you see the big hair. Like ladies, if a man sends you a picture with big glasses, come on, it's 1984, the big glass eyewear.
Now, I remember you told me this story about hats.
Yeah.
We talked about it. You said a woman who wears a hat is in her 20s is cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, in her 30s, if a woman wears a hat, she could be a little too needy. A woman in her 40 who wears a hat, she's definitely a woman in her 40s wears a hat out. She's definitely trouble. She's trouble.
You said if it's in the 50s.
In the 50s,
DEFCON 4.
DEFCON 4, psycho case.
Yeah.
A woman in her 50s who wears a hat, you got to get away. You got to get away. If she's in her 60s, you got to like run away. Run away.
No, that's the scary part. When they're in the 60s wearing the sombrero and the big glasses like their mother, it's
Now you live in Florida, so I'm sure.
In Florida. Yeah, they're wearing it.
We're all kidding here, but I'm sure you see a lot of women with hats in Florida,
because,
right?
Yeah, for Florida, it's the heat. I understand that, but one woman had like 8 pictures with the hats and glasses. I had no idea. I thought she was an assassin. I didn't know who she was. I mean, you want to look at someone's eyes. You want to see what they look like. It's.
No, but let me ask you a question.
Oh,
Pete.
let me tell you something.
Go
It's
ahead.
a double-edged set. One of my exes, who shall remain nameless, she's had guys show up with oxygen tanks and tubes up their nose, and he's.
Are you kidding?
On my mother's grave, hand to God, she says to him, I don't know, couldn't you tell on the phone with the wheezing that he had health concerns? So, and she goes, I don't know whether to take you to the emergency room or hospice. And she gets up and leaves, and he calls her in the cell. What was that all about? What was that all about? You're 78 years old. How dare you say you're 55 years old? You put a picture up when Reagan was in office. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Now, what's the worst date you've ever been on?
Okay, this is the story. I have to tell it. This is a 25-year-old story. My friend, my producer Paul, is at a Christmas party, a Christmas dinner, and a woman next to is a friend of the wife brought her sister, and they're talking. She goes, I just want to meet a nice guy. He says, I got a guy for you, Peter. So he sets me up in the date. He goes, now remember what I've been told. Do not give her alcohol. You remember the Gremlins movie? Do not give them water. Do not give them water after 12 o'clock. They turn into gremlins. He goes, whatever you do, don't give her alcohol. Okay, we go to dinner. She starts ordering alcohol. I can't tell her no, right? You can't tell someone who has a drinking problem, you can't have a drink.
Well, you just met her, of course. You can't say nothing.
You can't.
No.
Okay. One wine turns to one wine. 2 turns into 3. We go back to my place, as you could probably imagine. One thing led to another. We hooked up, but you know me. Before I exchange bodily fluids, I have him sign a release form. I just go, please sign here. Please sign here. Then she goes, who's that other woman? That's the notary. She's just witnessing it. Because I do not want to be accused of anything. I said, I always do. I switch as I go, you sure you want to go through this? Yes, give it to me. So we make love. As always with every woman who's had a one-night stand with me, she has buyer's remorse. Like she didn't like the sticker price. I'm telling you, they all have buyer's remorse because they say, I don't want to do this. I do want to do this. I don't want to do, what I'm telling you. You're the master.
Right.
I don't want to do this. I know you're a player. So she feels horrible. She goes home. She blamed it on me. You did what you did. I go, no, you were full of alcohol. And, unfortunately, as Johnny Carson says, a stiff member has no conscience. That's just the way life is. I'm a young man. I'm in my 30s. I still have the will to live. But I asked her, you sure? I don't want to make you do something. No, it's fine. So I felt bad because she said to her friend, whatever it is, I'm sure I'm not the first one-night stand she's had. So we talked again. I go, you know what? I want to make this up to you. I know you work hard. Let's go away for a July 4th week. She blamed me like it was crimes against humanity. It wasn't that bad, really. It wasn't crimes. So I said, let's make it up to you. July 4th weekend's coming up. And all you young men that are listening to this in your 20s, this is a Greek fable. She says, all right, let's go away on Palm Springs. I picked a hotel. I told her the hotel I picked out. She says, here it comes, Chazz. She says, no, you're not going to Jew me down. I want a nicer hotel. Now, this was God's way of saying, I'm giving you an option to get away from this. No good will come of this weekend. But I said, no, because a stiff member, I said, okay, no. You picked a hotel, the Wyndham, nice hotel. Okay, we drive. Now, here's the problem. Never, ever, ever drive with a woman in her car on a holiday weekend when you have no plan B. All the rental cars were There was no rental cars. I went to her
Right.
house in Anaheim. I left my car, went down with her. Someone kind of cut us off, and she starts flipping out. Road rage, road rage. I'm calling the police. I know, calm down. Now, I think she started drinking earlier on in the day. She's getting tipsy. We get to the hotel. We go in the pool. She's drinking heavily now. She's just charging drinks to my room. And again, like we said earlier, you cannot tell a woman who's drank to stop drinking when it's her weekend. This is my weekend. She keeps charging it to the room. Now, freeze frame. If I had my car, I would have left at that moment and just checked out of the hotel.
Wow.
Because it's getting worse. Because as we're walking around town, I think the night before, she's like highs and lows, like an EKG graph, laughing, crying. I almost got killed in the car. My kids are going to be without me, blah, 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 blah. So I'm getting stressed out, Chazz. You have no idea. We get back to the hotel room. I had a little bit of a joint left, an eighth of a joint. Now, in a smoke-free room, you have a joint. It smells. She says, I told you I'm not into pot. I'm going to call Paul and tell him you're a drug addict. And I'm thinking, yeah. And I'm telling her I'm with a bipolar alcoholic. So she gets flipping out. She goes, I want you out of this room. So I go like this, Chazz. Just calm down. You know what? This is the universal calm down.
Right.
All of a sudden, this is The Exorcist meets Blind Date meets The Twilight Zone. Her whole demeanor changed. Don't you ever raise your hand to me. I went, oh my God. I'm thinking this is what the guy, her ex-boyfriends did before they cracked her, right?
Right.
So when you see
Right.
this, she
Wow.
jumps on my back, starts biting me. She goes, I want you out of this hotel room. It's my hotel room. I paid for it. I'm thinking if I hit her, I'm going to jail. I'm trying to get her off me. She
Right.
picks up my wallet. She's about to throw it out the window with my clothes. Now, my friends are at Cantor's Deli in LA. They know I'm going away for the weekend. Yeah, we bust Peter's chops. He's having the time of his life with a woman. Freeze, cut back to her. She's trying to bite me. I'm trying. And back to Cantor's. Yeah, look at us. 4 idiots. We're alone on July 4th weekend. Peter Fogel is going to get, have some action. She's choking me all of a sudden on the door. Security. I had such a good buzz from the you know what the worst thing is when you have a good buzz and you can't enjoy it because security. I go, now I'm getting paranoid. I open the
Right.
door. The police have been called.
Wow.
Now I'm dressed. She's just in
Wow.
a long t-shirt. So
Right.
it wasn't like we were both naked. I'm very calm there. And she yells at the security guard, he's doing drugs. Mr. Fogel, I think I could smell this. If you have any pot in here, I'd get rid of it immediately. This is 98, Chazz, because the police have come. The police come by. They separate us. I'm like buzzed and saying, I can't believe I'm in this situation on July 4th weekend. So they separate us. And he says to me, okay, we talked to her. Now, here's the thing. You know how it works. If you say you hit her, she says you hit her. If you hit her, she says you hit him, you're both going to jail. Did you in fact hit her? No, I did not. She says you did not hit her. Where'd you meet her, man? On the internet? I go, no. I got set up through a friend. He goes, by the way, where's your car? My car is back in Anaheim at her house. You have a problem. I know these type of women. You have to get back to Anaheim and get your car. She will pour gasoline and torch it. Oh my God. Would you do us a favor, man? It's July 4th weekend. We'll take you to another hotel. Fine. As I'm leaving the hotel, I told the front desk, I am checking out. I am not paying for anything else that is billed to this room. You know where I'm going with this, right?
Right.
So we're driving around Palm Springs for an hour. Every hotel's booked. Every hotel is booked. I have no wheels. I'm stuck in Palm Springs. They go to these flop houses, which is near the bus station, where Marines, when they're drunk in Palm Springs, just stay. It's run by like Indians. And I walk in, and the cop goes in and asks, "Do you have a room?" "Yes, we do." I come in. "How much the room?" He goes like this. You're getting screwed. $75. Okay. Like, are you going to buy this? Yeah, $75. Pay the $75. The air conditioner was intermittent. Had one ceiling fan like Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now. Remember in the hotel room? One revolution per minute. And I'm going, I can't believe this. I'm with my bag. I get up in the morning. I catch back to LA. It's 2 hours. I have to take a bus from San Bernardino back to LA. I call my friend on a payphone. Don't forget, there were no cell phones. Man, I'm taking the bus back. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. All right, I'll meet you down at the bus stop. We'll drive to Anaheim. I'm in a bus. You got to picture this, Chazz. I'm in a bus with my bag. I have all the kitchen help and the porters that are from San Bernardino. There's chickens, there's goats, there's farm animals. I'm sitting like this going, I can't believe I went through this.
So the moral of the story is...
No, the moral of the story is I got back. The moral of the story is I went down and got laid. I got screwed. The moral of the story is that's basically what happened. The moral of the story is you have to have a plan B when you're going away on a weekend with a woman you really don't know, and there's no rental cars. I took a bus back 4 hours to LA, had my friend pick me up. We drove to Anaheim. He called the daughter. She goes, "Hi, honey. Your mother and Peter didn't get along. Where are you right now?" "Well, I'm going to work at Macy's." "Keep the garage door open," because I had to get my car. She would have torched it. And that was it. The moral of the story is always have a plan B. Don't go away with someone who has a major drinking problem.
Let's look at it this way. You went down as a young boy.
Young boy,
she
39.
wanted to.
Yeah.
She wanted to get. You wanted to get laid, and let's face it, you got fucked. But
that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to say. But I cleaned it up. Yes, I went to get.
You don't have to clean it up. We curse on this show. That's fine.
All right. But the cop said, when a cop looks in the eye, goes, "You have to go get your car. She's going to pour gasoline and torch it." And I did nothing. I had to hit a pot, and she just slowly. And that was the moral of the story.
One time a wise guy said to me once, "The fucking that you get ain't worth the fucking that you get."
That's exactly right. That's what my friend said to me. He goes, I'm sorry. But
Peter, okay, you're like I said, I think you're 59 or whatever. You think about marriage, you talk about it in your show, but yet you never married. I mean, why?
Why? Because, listen, I hear stories from married friends. I mean, you're the anomaly. You're in a good marriage. I have friends that can't afford to get divorced. And for instance, Nelson Mandela in prison. You remember Nelson Mandela in prison for 27 years?
Nelson Mandela, yes.
He was tortured, starved daily for 27 years. They couldn't break him, Chazz. True story. He's finally released. 6 months later, he divorces his wife, Winnie. He says he couldn't take it. The man was beaten, tortured. You know it. I'm not making it. And by the way, to give you an idea, you all remember the Andy Griffith Show, right? Andy Griffith Show. Everybody.
Andy Griffith, yes, I remember that show.
Andy Griffith. Everyone in Mayberry was peaceful, happy, and content. Was it a coincidence? No one was married. Aunt B, Barney, Andy, single. Helen, Thelma Lou, single. Goober, Gomer, Howard Sprague, Floyd the Barber, single. The only one married, Otis, the town drunk. That's it.
That's true. The town drunk.
That's true, though. The town drunk. I mean, you're an anomaly, man. I have friends that they're like this. Goes, "You're so smart." You know, if you meet the right woman, and I travel doing comedy. I'm here. I'm doing there. And when I was younger, to answer your question, I knew I couldn't afford a wife and kids when you're doing comedy. Honey, imagine telling a Jewish girl, "Honey, we're not going to your mother this weekend. I'm at Ho-Ho's in Cleveland doing a comedy club." It would be, "Where's my divorce attorney?" You know how it is. Look, you got married a little later. You waited till the right time. Then you could afford a wife and marriage. You know.
Well, but what confuses you? I'm trying to word this the right way.
I would love to know the worst thing that's happened to you at a comedy gig.
At a comedy gig, what's the worst thing that happened to you at a comedy gig? Anything really bad?
What, with women?
No, just at a comedy. What's your comedy horror gig?
Yeah, when you first started, maybe.
Oh, you want to hear? Oh, this is funny. It wasn't horrible. The worst thing a club owner could give you in a shitty bar that's doing comedy for a one-nighter is to pay you before the gig. My friend, Carl, went on before me. This was like Roadhouse. You remember the Roadhouse movie where they're throwing stuff?
Yeah,
and
right.
They had the chicken wire. They should have had chicken wire in front of the stage. They're flicking cigarettes at me. They're rolling pieces of paper, throwing at me, and I'm dotting. And my friend Carl got off stage. He finished, brought me on stage. For some reason, he knew I was going to bail because eventually, now behind me was an exit door. We've been paid already. And back then it was during the Harrison Ford with the fedora and the leather coat. That was my look in the 80s. I said, "You people suck. I am out of here." I kicked open the door like I was Harrison Ford. My friend pulls up the Trans Am. We get in the car. We drive back to New York from Pennsylvania. I said, how did you know to be there? I had a feeling you were going to bail. There was no reason. We were paid. You know, people. I mean, listen, I've been in comedy clubs where Dice Clay is at the Comedy Store.
Right.
And he has a mic. And back then you could smoke. So a guy is smoking and blowing smoke up in Dice Clay's face on purpose. He goes, "You mother effer. Oh, I'd like nothing but to take this mic stand and crush your frickin' skull. But you're gonna sue me, aren't you?" And he's going like this. He wanted Dice Clay to hit him. He's blowing smoke up at him. Says, "Oh, you son of a."
I tell you, comics, but you guys, when you first start, you got to put up a lot of shit. But I got to give you credit. Well, Pete, I have to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Since you're such an authority on women.
No. You're an authority. Let me tell you something.
What confuses you? What confuses you the most about women?
I don't know their needs. You give them too much attention, you're controlling. You don't give them any attention, you're not giving to needs. A woman says yes, she means no. Like when you're like making love. Yes, they want it. No, they want. No, yes, no, yes. If a woman says to her partner, what we need, translation, I want. If a man is stupid enough to ask a woman for permission, and the woman says, well, you do what you want to do. You're a big boy. I'm sure you'll make the right decision. If he does it anyway, he's a dead man. And arguing with a woman is like reading a computer. It's like reading a software license on a computer. You ignore everything. You scroll to the end and you hit, I agree. And I'll tell you one thing. Women, you know this, Chazz, we've discussed, these women have memories like savants. They remember everything a man has done to piss you off during the course of a relationship. There has to be a statute of limitations. They bring up stuff. It's like they have a jar of past male transgressions filled with tiny pieces of paper of everything a man has done to piss them off in the course of a relationship. And in the heat of an argument, they'll reach in like it's a grab bag. Well, not that this has anything to do with what we're discussing right now. It just fuels my rage. But November 14th at 2 p.m., 2016, I proceeded to leave you 4 voicemail messages over the next hour and a half. Not once did you return my phone call. I was having a colonoscopy. You're full of it. I can assure you that day I was not.
Wow.
You know that. I tell you these stories.
Yeah. It's true. Women bring up things that you did 20. My wife does it. She'll go, I remember when we first met, you did that, you didn't call me back right away. And I'm like, babe, we've married 30 years. What are you bringing up that for?
Why? You know, what is the point? What is the point?
What is the point? That is right. What is the point?
Well, I mean, I'll say something to the ex we're having, and I'll say, wow, your daughter's really, your daughter's fiance is totally in love and giving. He goes, that's right, Peter. That's the way it is when you're in love. And then she starts bringing up stuff from 3 years ago. It was just like, it was like there was no connection. It was just something pops in their head. So why would your wife bring up something from 30 years? What did it have to do with the conversation?
Now, let me ask you a question, Peter. They have these things on, they have these things called meet and greets.
Yeah.
Meet and greets for dating. What is that?
Yeah. See, back when in your day in the datings during the prehistoric stagecoach days, there was no meet and greet. You met a woman, you went, you know what I'm saying? Before the internet, you didn't have any blind dates usually for the most time. You would meet someone and you'd go out and you have dinner, right? Or a drink, or something like that. A meet and greet is not an official date. An official date is longer and has dinner. A meet and greet is like a McDate. Quick cocktail, quick coffee, in and out. It's like a drive-through. So you don't waste each other's time. I met this one woman, Lucinda, and it was a meet and greet, very gothic looking. Black hair, black eyelashes, black nail polish, 5 feet. She was like a miniature Elvira. Okay, very gothic. Not a bright girl. We met at one of those 50s diners. You know the 50s diners with the jukebox in the booth. You know the ones I'm talking about. So I know she's not the brightest bulb in the lamp. She's flipping through the selections. She goes, I always wonder how they got these big records inside this little jukebox.
Okay.
And I'm about to say, check, please. She goes, you have to excuse me, Peter. I'm very stressed out. I'm very tired. I was up the whole night studying for my PAP test. I went, okay, check, please. And that's
A
what you
pap
do.
test.
A pap test. She was studying for her pap test. I didn't know it came with a textbook. I didn't understand it.
Wow.
But they understand when you start to meet someone like that, then you know it's over. And then you think, I mean, women tell me, one woman told me on a meet and greet that she had a guy say to her, I got to be honest with you, I'm a person of interest in my wife's murder. Really? And the woman.
Oh, come on.
And she goes, all right, I have to go to the ladies' room. He took her pocketbook. You'll get this back when you come back from the ladies' room. Obviously,
Wow.
he's obviously told this to other women. And they usually, once a woman takes the bag, goes to the ladies'
She's
room,
gone.
they'll crawl out the window in the ladies' room over glass.
Wow.
And I said to the woman, it wasn't like he was indicted. They always go back to the husband when there's a murder, when there's a death of a wife, right, Chazz? They always go back.
Wow.
But is that funny? And he did give her the pocketbook when she came back. She goes, it was a lovely afternoon. Thank you for the disclosure. And she left.
But do you imagine meeting someone and the first thing you say to them, I'm a person of interest. I want to be full disclosure in my wife's murder. I
mean, is that great?
Yeah.
That's like,
listen, Peter,
Yeah.
you're just, you're one of a kind. You're a funny guy, man. And I really, that's why I enjoyed, and your show is just off the charts funny. If people want to come and see the show that I directed, what do they have to do? What is your website, Peter?
well, the website is till death do us part, theplay.com/tour dates. You'll put it up. But even if you go to the website, just go to till death do us part, theplay.com. You can find the tour dates. Follow me on Instagram. Look for Peter Fogel Comedian. Facebook, also till death do us part. You'll see it. But one way or the other, you'll find me, and I'm always announcing it. And the coming year, hopefully, when this COVID is coming to an end, I'll have a lot of dates.
Right. Now, you do a lot of your jobs in Florida, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, but you do all over. But if somebody
Yes.
wants to see you live, and
Yeah.
I think it's a fun show to bring your girlfriend or your husband.
What's really good is that husbands, wives, it's as we say, if you want to know what the show's about, it's like Defending the Caveman meets Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, because we get down to the nitty gritty, finding the absurdities of love, like you and I discussed.
Yeah.
And married people are laughing hysterically. You know what I love, Chazz, and I've told you this, when I'm doing certain bits on stage, telling stories, and the husband's nodding, and he looks at the wife with that look on, you see what you put me through? And she elbows him back. Then I've known that I'm resonating with what I'm talking about, right?
I got it. Yeah.
Their laughter. And the seniors love it. And if you're married, single, divorced, you're going to get the show. It's about love and what we go through. And with more divorces in this country, more people know about internet dating than ever before, because that's what we're doing now.
Well, thanks so much, Peter.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming down. I want to thank my subscribers out there. Always remember to hit that subscribe button. I'm giving away 5 vintage style posters. When I hit 20,000 subscribers, so subscribe. I'm going to give away a bunch of stuff, but you have to be a subscriber. Chazz Palminteri, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. Go to chazzpalminteri.net to see where my one-man show is. Peter, it's a blast.
Thank you. Thank you again for directing my show. You really.
It was my pleasure. Funny's funny, and you're a funny guy, man. I appreciate it. And I will be down there to see some of your performances, okay?
But do you remember how we compare? What I want people to know is that being the single guy, I compared notes with you, the married man. Remember, we were going back and forth. And that is why I needed you. You really had the married view of things.
I've been married forever. So
yeah.
God bless you, Peter.
Thank you.
You stay well.
Thank you.
My audience, thank you so much. And we'll see you next Monday at 11 o'clock. Okay.